This is Are You Career Relevant with Professor Rick. Some of you may be new to our webcast. I actually do this once a month. I do a workshop in Portland and in person, and then the following month, which is this month, I take that same workshop and I do it in our webcast. So we do it live. And in this particular webcast, it's called Why Networking Doesn't Work. I say it's a waste of time unless you do these three things. And the tagline is network with purpose or don't go. Are you career relevant? So this workshop is not very long, maybe 33 minutes. And some of this you might have seen before, but we have to build from this strategy. And I've been building this type of strategies for the past 10 years and now have an opportunity to roll this out nationwide to college students, recent graduates, and on top of that, I work with my practice with working professionals who also use this. Okay, so let's look at our agenda. So this is part of our meetup group, the road to gainful employment. And the three areas that we're going to talk about are know the venue and target your audience. Your goal is not to collect business cards, and we'll talk about that. And last but not least, have to create your QR contact code. So I know at least one of you are laughing right now, but it's still relevant today. So this is good. This is good. So let's move into this. Traditionally, no one likes to network. It's tough to network. And some of you have joined professional organizations or gone to community type or professional meetings, and you go there, you have dinner, you see tens, maybe hundreds of people in the audience, and you get overwhelmed and you don't know where to start. And you're thinking, why am I here? I don't know anybody. So the natural thing that you're going to do is collect business cards. And for me, there's no meaning behind that. It's not about getting the most business cards. It's not about collecting business cards. It's about developing good contacts. So the old way of networking, no one's comfortable with. And what we've come up with is what we call power network. And as you notice on the slide, it's not about uh, quantity, it's about quality. And the second thing I talk about is focus and targeted individuals. So what that means is when you are in a professional environment, a lot of times they have a workshop. A lot of times they do introductions. A lot of times they have individuals that stand out as experts in their fields. And you, as an individual, have to find out if A, is that person you want to connect with? B, are they either aligned with your professional goal or professional career? Or do they work for a company who you want to work for? So if they don't fit in those three areas, hence being focused and targeted, then I wouldn't even waste my time reaching out to that individual. So the whole time that you're networking, whether a professional organization, whether you're at a meetup group, whether you're in a group environment, no need to exchange cards if they don't meet those three criteria. So keep that in mind. Also, in power networking, the last part, leverage LinkedIn for insights. For me, if I'm going to go to an event, I want to find out what the theme of that event is. I want to find out who the audience is. And if possible, could I cross reference individuals in that event through LinkedIn? So, for example, I recently did a workshop with PMI which is the Project Management Institute in Portland. And naturally, when I get involved. I already know a lot of people there, but if I didn't, I know the audience are project managers. I could look into my LinkedIn and see who are members of my connections that are also members of PMI. And there's some cases where in advance they give you a list of who's going to attend. So now you have an opportunity to say, wow, either they may attend or you can look out for those individuals and you can learn more about their background through LinkedIn, and you're more open to reach out to them in that networking event. So this is what we're talking about with power networking. If the event does not help you up front, then I would say take a step back and not participate and look for a venue that's more focused. So something to think about when we do power networking. So when we power network, the best way to give an impression is to put together what I call a QR contact card. And the QR contact card consists of these 6 areas. Most people have an email, and if it's not your first and last name, I recommend to customize your email to your first and last name. And of course, if you want to put your contact number on your QR contact card, not a big fan of putting your address. If this is applicable, put your degree on there. I'm also a big fan of number 4, ideal 3-word phrases that relate to your college program or that you want to be known for. And I'll show you some examples afterwards. And you also know I'm a big fan of quotes, whether it's your quote or an industry quote or an expert quote. Why not separate yourself by putting a quote on your contact card that identifies you? Maybe it's a theme that you build your workplace around, or maybe it's a mentor that you look to inspire to. And then last but not least, you need to customize your LinkedIn URL. So this workshop is not going to get that detail in terms of how to customize your LinkedIn URL. Just be mindful that if you do plan to create a QR contact card, these are the 6 things that are recommended to put on your card. So when you go to a networking event and you have your card completed, you have an opportunity to identify the audience that you want to reach to. And how powerful is it when you introduce yourself, you provide your network card and in hopes to exchange cards, and they have an opportunity to view not only your name, your contact information, but your areas of expertise. And with the QR code, they have the option to scan your QR code, and that QR code would be customized to your LinkedIn URL. And right in front of you or right in that venue, they can look at your LinkedIn URL and know more about you immediately. So this is what I mean by networking with purpose, giving a QR contact card that explains who you are. So you let your tools speak for you, and it breaks the ice more comfortably for them to open up to you. So be mindful of this QR contact card content, something to think about. So what I've done was I had opportunity to expand, and some of you may recognize this. In fact, I'm going to go to the chat here if you recognize this. This is an example of and this was done years ago, but it brings me up till today. Yeah, it's good that you see that, Zill, but you can appreciate it. And I imagine, Zill, these days, if you still have your QR contact card, it's timeless, right? You could still use it. See? So what a way to present your QR card, your QR contact card. Someone scan your QR code. Oh, that's right. And what a nice icebreaker. But also, more importantly, look at the impression that you give. Now, you remember, though, in your case, this was done, what year are we? Wow. At least 5 or 6 years ago. And ironically, it's still relevant till today. I'm working with clients today that have brought this to a higher level and use this at the executive level, the professional level. So this is not just for college students and recent grads. These are for working professionals, individuals who are in career transition, or those who want to be elevated and known for their expertise. In fact, I'm curious, will this work or not? Let me try this. Let me see if this is going to work. I'm going to go back to sharing my desktop, and then I'm going to click on this. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it or not. We're going to find. Let's listen. Oh, might not work. Oh, interesting. I wonder, did that stop along the way, or were you able to see it all the way through? I'm looking at the chat. If anyone's seen that on the chat, or could you even see it? By the way, that's the first time I tested. Oh, it's fine. Oh, interesting. Okay. I don't know if you were able to. Yeah. Okay. Good. 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 So you see, I'm going to just play it one more time, just because it's a short 30-second, 30-second intro. But what an Okay. Good. I have not tried it in this forum. I actually did it live in my in-person workshop, and it worked out well. So I'll be interested to see how this records out. So good. Let's see if it recorded through. But you see an opportunity to see it in action, and it's a game changer still. Because when I spoke to PMI Portland, did the same exact thing, and went there and presented. And when I networked with individuals who wanted to chat with me, it was easier for them to understand who I was when I shared my contact card. So it works. Not only do I teach it, I practice it, I teach it. It's proven, it's historic, and it's still relevant for today. So it all goes back to this picture that you see here where it started. And it still comes. It still comes. So here's another example of past grads that did their QR codes, and it's evolved since then. And you also notice earlier when we looked at those 6 elements about your not only your name, your quote, your 3 areas of expertise, your email, your contact number, and your QR code. We also suggest that you tie that into your. Now go to the next slide here. Look at that. Look familiar? Tie that into your email signature. So all this comes full circle. When you network, you make a good impression, They have a physical card, a QR contact card of who you are. Either you email them or they email you. Either way, you reinforce your message with your email. So you notice that I wonder if they're showing this, if you can see me point. I should get the pointer. Can I get the pointer here? I will get the pointer. There we go. You see the name, the 3 areas of expertise, contact number. Of course, there's a quote. There is my LinkedIn URL, which matches the LinkedIn URL up here. And of course, that LinkedIn URL is customized and configured to our QR contact card. So you see how that reinforces it. And you already made a very good first impression without even asking for any help. So the object is make it comfortable for your audience you're connecting with, a quality contact, make it easier for them to choose you, to feel comfortable with you. Because in reality, you only need 2, maybe 3 solid warm contacts in your next professional networking venture. And either they are a potential mentor, they could be a potential hiring manager, or they may be potentially someone who works for a company that you've been tracking and that you want to work for, and you develop that relationship over time. So that being said, we go into our last slide. Why networking doesn't work? It's a waste of time unless you do these 3 things. Know your venue and target your audience. You know the goal is not to collect business cards, but to gain quality connections. And if you do not know how to do or create your own QR contact card, you're welcome to visit my website, www.queerrelevant.com. I do have a Skillshare class that enables anyone to download the template, and I teach you online how to develop the QR contact card as well as the strategies behind it. So instead of saying why networking doesn't work, now you could be focused and say why networking does work. So thank you for joining us for our meetup group, The Road for Gainful Employment. And let me